Welcome, viewers, back to Heart of the Machine, where we are continuing to weather attacks from Atka retail at a very trickling rate. They don't seem to be aware of the firepower we can bring to bear. Currently, we are, 37% of the way to Intelligence Class 5. We are considering founding a cybercratic haven. We're trying to put people into our mine farms. This is happening passively and seems to be progressing fairly well. Although we are having a little worries about the nutrition blend that we're serving them, which we're not producing fast enough. Currently decrypting Atka bank records. Atka is one of the Vorsaber federated corporations that we decided to try to exploit, and we're exploiting them by stealing their bank records to see if we can find anything in there. They don't like it, so they're sending some troops to try to stop us. This fractive sniper, a specialist in extremely long-range attacks, he is trying to shoot our network range extender and does a surprisingly large amount of damage, so doing over 2,000 points of damage to that thing with his 407 combat power and 200 armor piercing. We're gonna have to send someone there to deal with that guy. Fractive snipers are kind of annoying. We do have 3 predators, 2 of which are pretty badly damaged in the Neptune here. We have another... a CN1 machinist. He's taking a little damage. He's gonna have to... he's probably gonna walk straight through the Galeri expeditionary thing here and not get attacked by them. We'll see if they get mad. That would be interesting. We're gonna have to take care of that, though. That means more consumable large bore armor piercing rounds. They cost 4 when we use them on individuals. No, that's on a vehicle. Large bore is 4. When a individual tries to use those, it's a small caliber armor piercing round, and it only costs 2 of our, what is that, crystallized tungsten, prismatic tungsten. Okay, the other things that are happening is our sledge is over here near Full Metal Partner. The sledge needs 160 engineering skill to do this, so we may be able to give him... No, we can't give this sledge engineering skill, so that was a mistake sending a sledge there. It needs to be a tech. Sledge can head down here and contact the Wastelanders, but we need to bring a tech up there. So that sounds like a lot of movement. We need to bring predators over here, a tech up here, and maybe that sledge back down here. Unfortunately, the sledge has our delivery craft with it. The Neptune here, Bastion, has room for 1 more. It's also equipped with armor piercing rounds for another turn. But if we do shoot at Retail with that, we will get marked defective. Not a terrible problem for us, really. We're gonna board here. We're actually gonna unload the 2 damaged predators here so they can start getting repaired. Because there are repair spiders here, right? Repair coverage. Alright, yes, we want to make sure that we dump them somewhere here where there's a lot of repair coverage, so let's start by moving the Neptune over that way. And we'll drop out these predators here. Having some predators near our primary tower. Why can't you get out? What is going on here. It's because of this mode is making me select things. Having some predators near our main tower is nice for defenses. These guys are both injured. They'll get some repairs here. We do have Predator with armor piercing available for another 2 turns, so that's the right one to send against that mech we saw. Let's try to get movement going. There we go. Alright, if we stop too close to the mech, he's going to shoot at us, so let's go a little past. And then let's make sure we pick the right predator. You're going to hop out. I don't think you'll get any advantage from being on a tall building, but you do have the 2 shots. It looks like it will be necessary to take him out. Not quite enough. I don't want to waste a shot from the Neptune because we just cleared its name. I guess we're going to do it. And then the Neptune will head over this way and drop off the other predator. Oops. And hopefully this guy has a clean shot. Yep, from behind bonus. Goodbye, Fractive Sniper. And that prevents him from taking out our network range extender. Okay, with our remaining 5 points, we really want to get a tech up there. So let's hop this sledge back in here. Turned out to be a waste bringing a sledge up. Wait, we can't bring a tech up there. We need somebody with engineering skill, but it has to be a... no, I thought it had to be a android made by the AI, but that was just what the children wanted. These other ones don't actually need that. So these 2 tasks down here don't have any requirements, so we can send the sledge there, but before we do that, let's move the lion. Making sure we don't get it killed. Back here to pick up a tech. Or 2. Yeah, let's put it kind of centered there. The lion is so small compared to everything else. We'll put some techs on board. And then, yeah, we're going to go back. I'm not sure why I put 2 techs on board. That was probably a mistake there. It's okay. Let's hop to turn 246. I don't think we need to make anything this turn. Just a quick check at the ledger. Yeah, nutrition blend is still a problem, but nothing else really. Nutrition blend's a problem, but we do have 7 nutrition blends coming. So 246 it is. Alright. This turn, still want to improve the sewer tiger, but we don't quite know how, so that's why we're heading to that contemplation up there. Doesn't look like we saw any more Atka coming at us this turn. And contemplations have not moved. So we'll skip the nicotine, but we're going to look at these 3 other ones. And on the way, we'll drop a tech off over here. So, complicated move, but the lion first hops over here. From the lion, we're going to drop a tech. And that tech can do some structural engineering to get us some nutrition blend. The lion will then continue moving. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? There's a little national group outpost here with lots of guys guarding it. We're going to send another tech here to do Full Metal Partner. 160 engineering skill required. We passed that with 705. You've had a stroke of inspiration for an android made entirely out of liquid metal. It would be extremely powerful. Alright, there's the picture. He's kind of goofy looking. You've had a stroke of inspiration for an android made entirely out of liquid metal. It would be extremely powerful. Perform a feat of engineering. Full Metal Animal. The sewer tiger the lost kids keep underground has given you inspiration for something much grander. Your version won't be a great digger and will be far too large to keep underground, but that's just fine. Right. Side quest. Just happens to be exactly where we were. Not sure if that's intentional or we just got lucky. But we have a tech here with a couple action points left. Full Metal Animal. Perform feat of engineering. Now available. Liquid metal. Your stealthiest, strength-focused android can melt into a puddle, slither around out of sight, and reform at will. It cannot bring external weapons, but can unlock powerful augments. We also got Liquid Metal Tiger. Tiny for a mech, but incredibly nimble, can melt into a puddle, slither around out of sight, and reform at will. We also have achieved Mercurial Feline. Invent the Liquid Metal Tiger Small Mech. Interesting. We're going to send you back to the lion. And the lion is going to head back down this way. And maybe one more move put us about here. So down here we have a sledge on board. The sledge should be okay to contact the Wastelanders. Given your past experience with the Wastelanders and their mythology, you actually have a pretty good idea how they bypass the defenses around the city, and it will be mildly useful for the sewer tiger. Time to pop over and ask them for the schematics. You're positive they won't mind. Explain what you need. The Wastelanders explain. Acoustic sensors are based on vibrations, and so the key is to make an equal and opposite vibration so that nothing is detected. This is the basic premise of ancient noise-canceling headphones and other devices, so this is not exactly an exciting revelation. The exciting news is when they reveal their thumpers, which use advanced electronics and predictive timing to cancel much larger vibrations, and in solid mediums rather than air. In solid mediums rather than air. Like ground, I guess. These take quite a bit of skill to use, evidently, as the predictive timing only works if you move in a predictable pattern. For a machine, that's trivial. Yeah, this is about what you figured. You point out that the sewer tiger is digging through dirt and rock, which emits a pattern of sound that is anything but predictable. Not only that, but since noise is being emitted in front of the machine, there's no way to add a counterwave to cancel it out with the same timing. Plus, all of these noises will be exactly the sorts of sounds that the prison alert systems are scanning for. A dozen approaches and variations are discussed by everyone present, but they all have serious flaws. The noise-canceling approach has the most promise, but defeating the time lag problem will take more thought. We'll accept the thumper designs and leave. Alright, project was completed. Preparing for the heist, let's be smart. We have a new realization and an investigation, and a prison heist. LostGen has their sewer tiger in place underground waiting for you. Go. Warning, you will fail this project if liquid metal dies. That will completely end this project chain in this timeline. What? I guess we're gonna look at that in a moment, but I have a feeling we should be looking at available androids here. Look at that, liquid metal android. Capacity required 24. Okay, he's gonna be tough, I hope. He isn't as healthy or as strong as predators yet. And it looks like he needs gadolinium mesosilicate, which we won't have enough until next turn. So those things are going to be hard to make in rare. We won't be deleting him once we make him, but he takes up a lot of our android space. Very interesting. before we move on and read this, I want to go and talk to that Ursine. So let's do that also. This will take... must be a combat unit. Okay. Sledge, your usefulness... you are no longer useful. How did I not see that this must be a combat unit? Okay. I think what that means is we discard the sledge. Click here. Alright, let's look at the rest of this stuff now. We do need a combat unit to go down there. I don't know if we'll be able to build, let's say, combat unit is 12, we only have 8 capacity, so we'd need to get rid of either a tech or another keeper. I feel like, or predators, I think we have way too many predators right now. Predator 16. Yeah, let's get rid of a couple predators. In fact, it might be wise to get rid of these broken ones, or ones that are marked defective. I'm feeling they're all marked defective. Yeah. If we get rid of the broken defectors, the broken predators, if we get rid of one of them, let's get rid of one of them. That gives us enough space to add a combat unit. Might as well bring the forge closer and build the combat unit down here. Forge is a little bit slow. And then this combat unit can complete the Ursine infiltration contemplation spot. Raven's report on the underground Ursine street racing was vivid. You think you might want some of those animals for yourself. Since combat units are used as handlers in between races, it shouldn't be a big deal for one of your own combat units to get in and set them loose. These are deadly animals, however. To capture them, you will need animal capture drones, which can be launched from your mine ports. Make sure you build enough drone frames in advance, and then be ready to capture the animals while both you and they are under heavy fire. However many you manage to capture are the number you have. Okay. So this unit will have to stay here for a while. I think we want to get prepared, so it sounds like we need a mine port and a bunch of capture drones here, plus likely some backup. So let's hold off on actually doing anything there for now. We are out of energy, out of mental energy. I guess we should be reading these, preparing for the heist. Let's focus on this. The kids have the thumper designs and will make the needed refits to the sewer tiger. That's not going to be nearly enough, however. Because of the unfortunate physics of sound waves, you're going to need to insert a unit deep into the prison where it can be in radio contact with the sewer tiger and produce the correct counterwaves at the appropriate times. Any device with the sewer tiger itself is destined for failure. If you're not already making use of gadolinium mesosilicate, now is the time to look into that. You'll need a liquid metal unit to be able to slither into such a high security compound. The tiger's job will be creating an underground tunnel from which the prisoners can be evacuated. But that still might not be enough. Nobody has ever pulled this off. Even if everything goes perfectly with the sewer tiger and your liquid metal infiltrator, you're still going to have thousands of prisoners and hundreds of guards to deal with. Taking out the guards floor by floor might be possible, but the prisoners are a danger to themselves. They haven't seen the sun for months or years and expect to die underground within a similar span of time. The best plan for getting everyone out safely is, unfortunately, to use tear gas on everyone, the prisoners and the guards. The prisoners will need to be helped through the tunnels and will then need medical attention. You're not confident that the kids are up to these tasks. Consider bringing on more help, if you can find someone with the right skill set. Interesting. I guess that's what the investigation here is here. Search for a target solution out of many possibilities. Prison Ice is 25% completed. To complete, start the infiltration with a liquid metal android when you feel ready. So let's see how we do that. First off, we'd need a liquid metal android. We still don't have the capacity. We need 12 more capacity, which means temporarily we're just going to delete that combat unit we just created. We are not ready to do the Ursine infiltration, but deleting you will delete you. Yeah, deleting you will give us space next turn to make a liquid metal unit. Right? Yes. We need other units ready to deal with a surface response if any alarms are triggered. So start the infiltration. I wonder if that's the investigation or if there's something else. So this is the prison, I bet. Can we tell what this is by turning on either background conflicts or sites? Detainment Center 428. Okay, so this is definitely the prison. Hampton Citadel. Oh no, this is a large military complex. One of a few massive military installations in the city. It's a district unto itself. Okay, so that's a military complex. Unless the prison is at the military complex, which is possible. Not sure. I feel like we've seen a prison before, though, explicitly. So I'm not sure. These are all military bases. Military base. Fort Condor. Fort Apollo. Pacheco Crossing. Nuclear launch silo. Military. Yeah, the military has a pretty extreme presence here. I feel like at some point we're going to need to figure out how to just take over or destroy these sectors that have military in them. Alright, these massive underground complexes are the sites of society's most abhorrent humanitarian crimes. Housed in terrible conditions, prisoners are used for slave labor and research. So it turns out there's prisons all over. This infiltrations. When you do an infiltration into a building, you should send an agile unit. It will sneak through the building, avoiding enemies inside the building. Enemy hackers will spawn outside the building and search for your hacker. They will do damage to your hacker every turn, equal to the hacking skill minus the agility of your infiltrator. So we want high agility. This represents how close your infiltrator is to being found and killed. If the enemy hackers are attacked or killed by your units while searching for your infiltrator, they'll deal that damage to your infiltrator each time. If you cut them off from the network by counter-hacking them, or if you use weapons with silence on them against the hackers, then you can prevent them from harming your infiltrator. Okay, so if we kill the hackers, they're going to damage our infiltrator. But if he has high enough agility, he can avoid damage. So what does that tell us that we need to use for this? We need someone with high agility. Here's highest agility current is going to be Liquid Metal Tiger or Keanu. Interesting, Liquid Metal is really low. Let's see, highest possible agility. Liquid Metal is still pretty low, so Keanu or Liquid Metal Tiger. It sounds like Liquid Metal Tiger is probably what... That's a mech, right? That's not going to work. Plus it's 8,000 gadolinium. We might need to up our game. So it sounds like it's a job for Keanu. Keanu doesn't really have any hacking. Liquid Metal Tiger does, though. That's weird. Okay, so maybe you are meant to send in a Liquid Metal Tiger here. Surprised the liquid metal guy is so weak on agility. Okay, well, something to think about at least. So is this how we start the prison? That's also not super clear. Search for a target solution out of many possibilities. Use the investigate lens to see your options. So I think it is telling us that that's the infiltration. Kind of confused by that, but pretty sure that's what's going on here. Especially if we turn on navigation. The fact that these are marked as detainment centers and that's where we're looking seems to be what's going on there. Unfortunately, if we destroy this mech, I don't think we're going to get the gadolinium mesosilicate back. I also don't think it's a combat mech, but we can't move it around. Oh, we can. Okay, so we can move this around, no problem. And we can shapeshift it to make it invisible. And it can repair things. We should probably make this guy invisible while he's moving around. And maybe stick him over here for aid. Not sure. It also looks like when we battle this, we're probably going to be talking about battling these diplomats who have 431 armor plating and 660 armor piercing and high hacking resistance. Also some 80 PT4 Panthers here. Huge armor plating. Some BL5 machinists with high armor plating. A convictor. That's not ours. I guess we can't see it. Whoa, what the heck happened there? I think we were like inside this building. Convictor, for some reason, isn't showing us its stats. I think, yeah, I'm not sure why. That's not ours. Interesting. Maybe it's because, no, I don't know why. Anyhow, I'm not sure we're going to be able to survive this. I'm a little worried. Let's wait for the, what? I don't know. I don't think there's anything else we want to wait for. Are there any other contemplations we can view in the area? What is this one? Ah, alliance with nomad families. This is interesting. Nomad families move throughout the decrepit parts of town, never settling in any specific spot. The struggle with dehydration is constant. They've heard of your alliance with LostGen, but they don't have any immediate crisis pushing them to also work with you. All they have are the same low-grade struggles as last month, last year, and last decade. Alright, we need to send them a sledge or a predator if we're going to get them to help us, and that's definitely what the last contemplation was suggesting. Also, we could check out this one, the fertility deity. The Wastelanders have noticed Dragon 1 attack. Their people have suffered from intense genetic and teratogenic damage for centuries. Recent changes in the city are threatening their ability to have future generations. Because we constructed a giant floating fertility symbol, they have an important request for help. Yeah, that is leading to military invasion or World War IV or endless war raptors, all very interesting. Not sure we want to destroy the timeline just yet, but I do like the idea of doing this prison heist. So we're going to head here and try to set up an alliance with the nomad families. Let's click over to turn 247 and see if that makes sense. We do have a martial expansion ready. Better repair spiders are always welcome. Avionics core. We could throw up another aerospace hangar and start making drones faster. We also could increase our 18 centimeter spiders so that we could make more scanners, contraband jammers, or repair spiders. And we could increase our vehicle or mech capacity. What's our vehicle capacity like these days? Oh, we have plenty. We do need to make another mind port or a mind port at all, right? How much capacity is a mind port? Mind port is 8. We also don't have a troop ship. Troop ship requires scandium. I guess they all require scandium to some extent, and morphologic lattice. A Spectre is another vehicle we haven't really made yet. But we're going to need a mine port to deal with bears. Might make sense to get some bears online before we try a prison break. But here, let's concentrate on the nomad families. Down here we have a tech. Nomad families want to see a android known to be invented by AI. We don't have space. Unfortunately, it was a dumb move to smash the sledge last turn because he would have helped there. So let's go ahead and make another sledge. Luckily, Mineport is near here, so we can drop a sledge here, hop him in, and then these two can head on over to try to talk to the nomad families. What happens if we park over this thing? What is this thing? Spaceport. We can actually... No, we can't park over the spaceport. It's just not even a thought. What are these? This is a slum, isn't it? Yep. Okay, Sledge L512 hops out and is going to go talk to the nomad families in this broken down, dilapidated building here. Abandoned building ruin. They move throughout the decrepit parts of town, never settling in any specific spot. We're gonna work on their problem in hope of an alliance. From looking at them, it seems pretty clear they have vitamin deficiencies as well as dehydration. Maybe you can solve both problems at once. Speaking of, yeah. Just because you form an alliance doesn't mean they'll help on any specific operation. If you have a specific task you want them to help with, don't forget to come back and ask them. Now available, Purple Murnong. A purple daisy-like flower above ground with multiple vitamin-rich tubers produced per season. Daisy yams have been known as a superfood for generations. Vitamin water for nomads. The first step is to get your hands on some Purple Murnong. You may need to advance a turn before you see it being shipped on the scavenging site Lens. Nope, it's right there. Nope, that's not it. That's neodymium. Purple Murnong, huh? Oh, there is one. Way over there. That's like out. Oh, it's in a large economic transport. Okay. So to do this, we're going to have to send drones to scavenge it off of the large economic transport. That's the idea. Great. Let's hop back on board. Let's get the lion back down here, and let's think about how we're going to scavenge off of that. I think the Bastion is probably the way to go. Where is the Purple Murnong? Are you on board here? Yep. So on board this large economic transport, we have Purple Murnong. Yes, gain from extraction. So we have to extract Purple Murnong from this thing. Nath vertical. Which means drones. We are in fact going to increase 18 centimeter spiders so we can make more repair or scanners. And what we want to do is take the Bastion. And we're gonna fire an extraction drone at this. Valid target, but out of range. Okay, so what's the range that we can fire? I think it's just that it's outside of the city. Like, we can't actually do it because it's back there. Drones. So we've done drones once before. We have 16 drones total. Speaking of drones, the Ursine contemplation here said that we need drone frames and animal capture drones. I don't think... Maybe once we build the mine port we'll understand that, but right now we don't really have any idea. If we make a mine port right now, it looks like we have pretty much everything we need in abundance. I'm gonna go ahead and make a mine port because we can. I don't think... Yeah, we have plenty of capacity. So if we put it over here, we can send it down to the bears soon. But the main reason I wanted to do that was just because I wanted to see available consumable items on here. It does have animal capture drones. Great. Animal capture drones applies effect capture and trapped. Remove unit from the battlefield and put into our custody. That takes 1 drone frame. So we have a limit on the number of drone frames. But they're not what I thought. Drone frames. Drone frames don't come from the aerospace hangar. There's actually a drone factory. Currently have 3 drone factories. No. 2 drone factories. Giving us 8 drone frame cap per. These take avionics, core, robotics, and we have 6. It needs 3. Avionics core, I think, are shared with the aerospace hangar. Aerospace hangar, we do have 2. Foolishly, they're right next to each other. Aerospace hangar, you kind of want these to be spread out. So that's one mistake I made early on, was putting these next to each other. We could probably blow one up and move it, but it doesn't really matter for now. They're still producing morphologic lattices, which are needed for air vehicles. I think we should make more drone factories in order to get ready for the Ursine rescue. Drone factories are using existing buildings. It looks like we have space here and space here. That prevents us from making another aerospace hub, but we don't need that. We need more drones. More drones, the more bears. That's how I read that. We've never made an Anthro-Neuroweave factory either. Which is interesting because I thought we actually had a reason to make it. But I guess not. I guess what we wanted to do was get ourselves in the supply chain of that wellness company, but they just wanted to buy us outright. So we refused. We're going to make these anyway because they compete with Neuroweavers. Neuroweave factories. Yeah, we have a cap of 32,000 there. It's like, that's enough to make like 5 or 6 drones. No, more than that. 7 or 8 drones maybe. They also compete with robotic motivator factories. We've got 6 of these installed. We can always tear these down if we need... Oh wait, this helps. Never mind, this is bulk robotics. We have more than we need of these. We're not using that many bulk units. So let's go ahead and make Anthro-Neuroweave. We can make 2 of these. and these don't have to be anywhere special. We'll just throw them there. Got plenty of power. Is there anything else that we haven't built yet? Android extender. We've never built an Android extender, a building that just gives us additional Android cap. Mainly because it takes Mind Annex robotics, and if you got Mind Annex robotics, you should be making co-processors. Like, speed is more important than extra androids. One other thing... Alright, one other thing is that it's pretty much my time. This video is going on a lot longer than I anticipated, so I'm going to end it there. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned next time where we try to figure out how we're going to help the kids rescue their parents from prison. Promises to be a tricky situation. Hope you'll join me for that. And I hope you've been enjoying this series as much as I have enjoyed playing it. Don't forget to click the like button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Again, I hope to see you next time. This has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine. Bye bye for now.